Hi everyone, and welcome to the Expert Dialogue podcast by Precious Kalu. And today I have a very special guest. As you can see, she's already glowing, and you can see her on the screen right now. And she is no other person than Marta Budzyńska. And Marta is actually a certified career coach, and she's passionate about empowering individuals to transform their lives through meaningful career changes. And she has over 5 years of experience in recruitment at top agencies and including Amazon. Imagine the big Amazon. And she's a seasoned expert in senior roles across sales, marketing, project management, and including operations. Also, she actually left the corporate world in February 2024, and now she dedicates her expertise to coaching and supporting clients towards confidence, self-belief, and fulfilling careers. And she is a podcast host and active on social media channels like Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube with the username Hello It Is Matter. And she's also very much active on LinkedIn. You can connect with her and message her for further after the session. So, Matter, thank you so much for joining. I'm really excited that you joined this podcast session with me. I really admire you. Let me just say this, I admire your vlogs on YouTube. You kind of like gave me inspiration on some certain things that I was really like trying to navigate through. So how are you doing today?
Oh, thank you so much, Precious. Thank you for having me and all of these kind words. I think I will be back to my vlogs after what you just told me. That's for
and
sure. You
and
have it.
yeah, and publicly, let me say that I've actually been admiring her before when she joined. So let me say you're beautiful. Like I just love your color. I love everything about you.
Oh, Precious, this is so nice. Thank you so much. You're such a beautiful soul and person. So it's just like amazing to hear that. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm honored to be here today and speak with
Oh,
you.
I'm more excited. Trust me. So right now, like, are you on vacation? Where are you exactly?
So I'm currently in Poland. Actually, I'm like visiting with my family home.
Oh
So
my God.
yeah, that's exciting. After so many years in Spain, I mean, not so many, but 3 years in Spain, being here, enjoying some different kind of weather and nature and just being close to my family, that feels amazing.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'm like, I don't know, but because I know the last time you mentioned about vacation, I'm like, I don't really know exactly where you are because the last time you were in Spain and now maybe you are somewhere else because I know you love traveling a lot.
I do love it. Yeah, I went to Italy recently, so I did kind of tour
Did you
from
eat the
Rome
Italian pasta?
every single day.
Oh
Yes.
my God. All right.
Yes. I
So
love
I have a
Italian
lot
food.
of I I have a lot of questions to ask you today. But then what's the most important thing you wish people knew about finding a fulfilling career?
Oh, this is a really good question, Precious. I'm so glad that you're asking this one because the mission is to obviously increase awareness of people how to go for their dream jobs, how to build their
Yeah.
confidence and go for what they really deserve. And I feel like this question definitely doesn't have one short answer. What's the most important is that your career, your job has to be aligned with your values. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not speaking only about career goals, but genuinely your life values. If for you the most important is family and just being this honest, warm person who likes to spend time with nature, with loved ones, share their knowledge, develop themselves, like they probably have to have a job that will allow
Mm-hmm.
them for all of those things, right?
Yeah.
Because we are human being first, then we are professionals in our career. So we can't
Exactly.
like overstep it. We can't push through the limits and like what is important for us after work. Work should be always aligned with that. So I would start answering this question, yeah, this way for sure. Would you agree, Precious?
Like talking about work, I mean, what do you think is the biggest mistake people make? Maybe when they're searching for jobs that, I want to have a fulfilled job. I want to have a work-life balance and all that. What's the biggest mistake people make, and how can they really avoid it?
I think it's really difficult because also being extremely honest from
Mm-hmm.
recruitment view and then now career coach view, market is very tough. And we can, of course,
Wow.
say all of those magical, cool things that you can have this work-life balance, you just prioritize, you just go for it. And this is kind of a key because it's all about priorities. If we priority our, again, family and personal life and all of those like things, we
Yeah.
can't get burnout in work that it's not aligned with that. Then it's probably a sign to change this job. What is tricky
Mm.
then? It's the market again, because it's so difficult. It's not to blame circumstances. We have to adjust
Yeah.
our actions to what it's given. So if the market is so competitive, it's that difficult, how we can build this job search strategy, how we can increase networking, LinkedIn. You're a LinkedIn expert. I'm sure you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm talking about, right?
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, that's extremely important, and like to make sure that we don't go into eventually sacrificing all of those life values, all of those like where we want to be in life privately and professionally just for some job that it's kind of miserable. Because
Mm-hmm.
it always seems like if we are in the bad spot in career, that there is no other way around, that we can't
Wow.
go and be in another place, right? It seems like
That's true.
cage kind of
That's true.
situation. But it's also always worth it to remember that there is other situation, there is other solution possible. You don't have to be forever stuck in these bad circumstances. It's important to seek help, to educate yourself how to navigate this career, maybe use a support of coach, but even before that, like just see where you really want to be, like dive deeper into what's in peace with you. That's the most
Mm-hmm.
important.
Wow, like you really said a lot of things here, because I feel like sometimes the maybe fear of, I don't know if I'm gonna find another one, or fear of maybe there is no better one out there. And at the end of the day, you don't prioritize your mental health, you don't prioritize yourself, and you just keep getting angry, and you don't really, maybe at the end of the day you might not be able to do your job the way you're supposed to, because you've not prioritized yourself, your mental health, and your whole health and well-being. I mean, this is really
Mm.
interesting. But at sometimes, like when people, I've heard a lot of people say on LinkedIn that personal branding is not important when you're looking for career opportunities. That it's only resume, it's only CV. Like, do you really agree or disagree?
No, I absolutely disagree, because if the market was that easy as like few years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when we would just send resume and get a job,
Mm-hmm.
then it was accurate, probably. However, now that's no more the case. There is this statistic that it's really like mind blowing, that it's about 2 to 5, up from 2 to 5%. If someone is already having their network in ways of not only online but even offline, and they are going for a certain role just with resume, but
Mm-hmm.
there is already something in there, then it is possible, and then this resume will be the only thing, right? But in
Yeah.
general, if someone is going to the tough market in Europe, United States, or
Mm-hmm.
anywhere else, like I'm just saying Europe and United States because that's mainly where I work with my clients from, but
Yeah.
all over the world it is quite difficult, right? So that's why we would have to increase this personal branding to make sure that there are more chances of landing in this job eventually. And it's not only personal branding for personal branding, just to like set a nice picture and banner and post something cool, right? It's rather to build it. So it's a starting point for all of the networking.
Yeah, that's right. Because I feel like people are like, oh, I want to have a beautiful picture, everything is settled, or have a beautiful banner or beautiful design and all that. It's not just that. I mean, it's basically about, you talking about what you can do. It's easy for you to just say, hey, I'm a professional in this, I'm in that, but people do not know what you do. and building that brand would, I mean, it would just put in the forefront of people who have submitted their CVs as well. So thank you so
Yeah.
much for that. And the thing is, some people have these questions in their minds, the viewers of this podcast right now, and they want to know, how do you really know if a job is the right fit for you? Do you have to like meet 100% of the requirements, or maybe 70%, 60%, or which one?
Right. So, do you mean in the stage of applying for the job?
Yes, yes.
Right. So, I would say it's not even about percentage of meeting qualifications, but it's more about like which qualifications do you need for this job. So, the job
Wow.
description, yeah, they are usually like having two parts. First part is all about like what you have to do. So, those are those
Hmm.
must, right? So there might be certain language. I don't know, they have to be fluent in English because they will operate in English in that company. The
Yeah.
must might be 5 years of experience in certain field because person will already be in a senior role. They must have to know those things already, not about this certain
Hmm.
company, but in this field, in this sector. Then the third thing, for example, they must have like 2 or 3 years of management experience because they will jump into manager role. And again, even if someone were amazing with their experience, but they were not manager, that might not be possible to land in this job. It also depends on company and I would say like how complex this organization is. But in
Yeah.
general, if something is a must, it means this is what's necessary to have the job done. And we neither want candidates, or when I work with my clients, the last thing I want for them is to make them land in this role. All right, they land
Hmm.
in the role, and then they will be like, oh, Marta, I don't know how to do my job now because it's
Whoa.
actually right. Like, we don't want this situation. It's not only to be harsh at the candidates, it's also to make sure they will feel comfortable doing this job. But at the
That's
same
true.
time, right? But at the same time, there is the second part of job description where there are like so many qualifications listed as
Hmm.
preferred qualifications, like additional qualifications. And that shouldn't stop you. Like you should be able to apply if you don't meet preferred 5 additional languages or programs or certification that it's not necessarily to have the job done because companies are more and more now looking for unicorn, but we are human beings and
Of course. Of course.
we have different backgrounds, different educations, different experiences, and it's important again to meet those crucial ones for the role, but don't let the preferred one stop you. That would be my message.
Wow. So you mean we don't have to meet 100% requirement, as long as it's something that aligns with our goals and it's something we want to do, we should just give it a shot.
Yes, exactly. That might be better strategy rather than looking for the job that would be just like 100% aligned with
Hmm.
every single thing. It has to be aligned with the course. So if you see the job description and you feel like, right, I maybe have experience in this field, but at the same time, I would hate to work again in this role because I worked this role already and it wasn't that cool, etc. Then like that might be the sign to not go for this role this time. That might be the sign that there is something better out there. But at the same time, not being stopped by there might be something as a challenge or there might be something new. There actually should be new things because this is
Yeah.
what makes it exciting. This is what makes us to grow in our career, that we go out of our comfort zone and do new things.
Wow. Like you have a lot to share, really. I mean,
Oh, thank you.
I watched your video sometime. Was it last week? I mean, you were talking about taking a break from your career, and I'd really like to know, what if maybe someone who is working a 9 to 5, or what if someone do not have a PTO available? Do you even advise people to take a job without pay time off?
Oh, this is the very tricky question. I think like a good one, I mean, but like might be depending the answer of um like law and like legal circumstances of certain
Mm-hmm.
country because even if it's the company that it's worldwide, it's obviously from somewhere and then they have to change their policy for each specific
Yes.
country to be aligned with the local law. So
Okay.
if there's possibility to not have any paid days off, I would be very conscious about it and like think twice because that should be the absolutely must and normal thing that even it's not extremely like massive number of days off, but there should be some days off to be able to have them paid and still go for holidays without like I don't know changing career immediately. That's we
Mm-hmm.
all need a break. We all need to take some time off, and that's also that I was talking in this video that it's sometimes like it's not necessarily about taking 1 month off and use all the
Yeah.
paydays off right in like one shot, but like even take this 1 week and go for some little trip as I went to Italy or whatever it is. Like that's just so important that we
Yeah.
take care of ourselves basically.
Because when you come back, you're going to feel refreshed. You're going to have, a fresh mind and more energy to do some work and all that. Instead of just
Yeah,
working day and night, no break, and you just keep going. Hmm. But
100%.
then about the career thing, and because I know a lot of people who talk about boundaries a lot. Boundaries, I'm like, why? It's kind of like a controversial topic sometimes because people get confused when it comes to creating a boundary with your employer and communicating clearly. What could you say is, you know, the how can we differentiate the both between having a boundary and communicating clearly?
Yeah, this is also very important one. I think it might be also tricky because the brutal truth is if in some companies manager has the bad management style, they just have this company culture that it's not good for people basically,
Mm-hmm.
it won't be really possible to set boundaries. And maybe it's not what everyone wants to hear. But from my experiences, from how much I saw in my and others' career, sometimes setting boundaries might be even equal of like quitting and changing the job. It's like with relationship, isn't it? It's like you have this partner or friend and they are just going through your boundaries and you are like you set those boundaries, you inform
Mm-hmm.
very, let's say, professional way to keep still the career circumstances and you tell them like I don't appreciate you're doing that, or I need my space here. I don't want someone to, I don't know, check my emails or my phone or whatever it is. It's so similar. Because if manager is micromanaging, it's the same as partner in relationship without trust and being
Exactly.
anxious. They are like, can I check your social media DMs? No. And the same is with manager. Can I check your calendar? Can I see how really busy you are? My manager used to ask me those questions. I'm glad my
Wow.
partner never did. And I was like, no, you can't. I can tell you what's my plan for the day, but I will not send you screenshot of my calendar because it's my calendar. And those are the red flags. And if we communicate the boundaries and person keeps crossing them, again, with this metaphor, with this like comparing relationship and career, isn't it just a sign to leave, to let them go, to go for what we want to have in our life and in our career? Because it's not always possible, unfortunately, to change so strongly circumstances. I think all of those career advices that are about like how to enjoy your work more, how to build better relationships and everything,
Yeah.
those are very accurate and extremely helpful, but we have to see what's the limit. When
Mm-hmm.
is it really bad for us? And it's not in terms of positive mindset and good affirmations, it's just bad. And then it's time
Yes.
to quit because the longer we are there, the worse impact it has in our on our mental health. But setting boundaries in the way of like our manager would be demanding and asking us like, you have to also do this and this and that. The good way of setting those boundaries would be asking them, all right, so look, you asked me to do those three more things. I'm already working on those four things. What should I prioritize then? Like, what's the thing I should prioritize first? Because obviously I can't do nine things in 1 second. So those kind of, but it has to be very professional communication. I would never say like setting boundaries is about just telling them like no as directly, literally, just saying no, I won't do it or whatever. But it's like with this calendar example, like if they ask you for things you feel uncomfortable, if like they are crossing it, you can very diplomatically say no. But
Yeah,
remember that it's work. So let's just remember that even if you're right about certain things, if they have a power, they might put it in another light. So we kind of always have
exactly.
to work in our favor.
And sometimes I feel like the things you know that are going to be an issue, don't even start it. Because once you start and it gets deep into the whole thing, like it might be a little bit difficult to come back, and you start having that fear of, maybe I'm gonna be sacked, or what if he writes a sack letter? What if he does this and that? I really appreciate you sharing this, like, because I've once been in a situation where I didn't have I didn't create that boundary. I work around the clock, even after my work hours, and I keep getting,
Oh,
you know, I keep getting tasks to do even after work. And at the end of the day, the statement I got was, "I do not pay extra." And I was like, "What?
yeah.
You don't pay bonuses, you don't pay extra, but you were giving me tasks after work, you know?" So I had to prioritize myself, my mental health, and create that boundary. And actually, it got me to losing that job, but it's much better because I ended up in the hospital twice because I was overworking myself. So yeah, this thing is really an important thing to talk about, and it's helpful both in the workplace and also in our personal life. So Martha, thank you so much for that. And
Of course.
what do you think is like the best way to network with people? Like maybe for future recommendations, referrals, and networking opportunities.
Oh, that's a really good one. And I will be actually, I can spell the secret because
Of
I will,
course.
yeah, I will be also doing like an event now upcoming September, second
All
half.
right.
Yeah, I will like make the webinar all about networking, like building this personal branding, like directly for job search, for developing
Please,
careers.
can you share
Because
everything about the webinar? Just share everything about it.
right, for sure. Thank you so much, Precious. Yeah, when I will have like the link ready, I will send it straight away. But yeah, it will be all about getting the job thanks to personal branding and networking, just because I feel like there is so much valuable content about personal branding for business, like for
Yeah.
growing our own businesses. And this is extremely important. And I'm business owner myself, but at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
that might be tricky for people who want this corporate job. I work with my clients a lot also during our program about like landing in their jobs thanks to networking. Right now, one of my candidates, she has like, I don't know how many, but it was like close to 10 interviews during like very short period of time, just thanks to networking, like going out there, connecting with people. We just have to remember that paradoxically, networking doesn't only happen online. It is also happening
Yeah.
offline. All those relationships, we never know. We might meet someone in the line in Starbucks
Exactly.
or in your gym or the walk, like wherever.
Oh
And
my God. Talking about gym, you are the second person telling me this. Oh my God. I feel like I need to just go register now because I don't know. It's like the universe is trying to bring this again.
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, it can really happen anywhere, anywhere. So we have to be really conscious about our connections. And of course, networking online is different form. We have to start with this personal branding and everything, but offline networking is extremely important. At the end of the day, both are coming to the point of connecting with people and having, or it's a call like a virtual coffee, or it's just like live meeting and coffee and no coffee
Mm-hmm.
or whatever kind of meeting. It's all about building relationships, building trust, making sure we connect on the right level, we share the right experiences, but also learn more about the other person and like about their experiences, about the company. This is very important for networking. I feel like we, for candidates, put such a view of like they are the ones who are kind of chasing jobs, right? Because of course the market is tough and all of that. It shouldn't be this way. So what I mean by that, candidate is also the one who is like owner of their career, and they decide as well if they would accept this offer or they would not. So networking
Mm-hmm.
is for kind of begging for referral or something, which is the last thing I would advise if it comes to networking. But it's rather learning more about the company, about the role, to also have your answers. Maybe it will turn out that someone would connect with you about the company you work with, and then they will be like, oh, that is actually my dream company. Like it makes it clear, or the
Yeah.
opposite. And then networking should be also about building this genuine relationship, like learning more about the culture of company, of their role, of the team, what they are
Yeah.
working on, what's exciting in there, and then build this relationship this way. And there are specific techniques in there to do it, of course, that I'm working with my clients a lot as well. So at the end of the call, the person from this company should ask you to refer you rather
Mm-hmm.
than you be the one chasing referral. That's the ideal
Yes.
outcome. That's what we want to get from there.
Yes. That's right. What if I'm shy? Like, what if I'm an introvert and I'm the kind of person that, before I talk to people is very hard? Like, is it possible to get out of that?
This is a really good question, and I think we also have to think about it during our strategy that it has to be in peace with us. And each of person is different, and we have different energy, different needs with those social interactions. Um, I think building relationship might not be necessarily also that intensive because
Mm-hmm.
best we kind of connect with those people who we know in again live or online. Then we can go to and find few connections from those like dream companies. And it doesn't have to be like we do 20 calls per week. We can just have 2 or 5 calls per week. We know it's like, right, maybe this is my comfort zone of not doing the call, but what if I go out of this comfort zone to achieve my goal? What if I treat it as a little challenge also for my confidence? It's not
Yeah.
about converting introvert to extrovert. We don't want that. We want us to be the way we are,
Exactly.
but career is about challenge. We want it or not. That's how it works. If we want to
Mm.
progress, always be this challenge. The same happens internally. When people want to be promoted, they need visibility. I'm not
Yes.
pro this company culture when people say like, oh, someone is in this level and they are too quiet on calls. That's just terrible thing to say. It should never happen. And companies have to be inclusive and giving the right opportunities for everyone. But at the same time, we have to remember that it requires this comfort. Even myself as an extrovert, when I was doing networking inside of Amazon, it was not even external, it was internally because I had my I had my reasons for my own development. It felt extremely uncomfortable. I had to literally
Wow.
push myself. So it's never easy. It's not like if someone is extrovert, they are, some contacts might just come easily, but if we work on some big project as career development, or we build our business own and like have our sales goals, that's not that easy, like for anyone. That's what I
That's
can
true.
say.
I feel like it's about like even as that you need to know that even if you say okay today I'm going to network with those people or so and so thing, it's when you take the action, like you practice no matter how uncomfortable. Just like when I started recording videos of myself talking, I would usually
Mhm.
laugh at myself and just delete the whole thing until one day I was like, hey, just put it out there no matter how bad it is.
Yeah,
And
but that's the right approach. Actually, you said very important thing. Yeah, because it's like we seek perfection. Yeah, I had the same hesitation with YouTube. And I was thinking, because I'm like, obviously I'm sharing everything about career and then personal development and stuff, but I'm also like fashion lover. I'm just fashion girl.
hmm,
I love to have my matcha or whatever, just go to like do nice things. And I share this side of me as well on my vlogs. And I thought at first, like, oh, why it's not connected to the topic, like should I not? And then I was like, it's my YouTube, it's not LinkedIn, I can
of
share whatever I
course,
want. I'm not sharing any crazy party or inappropriate content. It's like what we are doing has to have some authenticity in there, and things don't really
exactly.
have to be perfect. And even when we look another way around, if we would do everything perfectly and we see those creators we look up to, they are super famous already, they have everything in place, they have creator for videos, for podcasts, they
Yeah,
have all team, and they are saying things like they have haters, or people would say something like the better you get, the actually harder it gets. So we shouldn't wait for anything now. That's about doing things right here, right now. And then the same is with networking. What if it goes wrong, right? What if we don't get the referral? Then we don't. And world won't end tomorrow just because of that.
yeah. The worst thing could just be no, and you move on. Like you just continue doing it.
Exactly. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, perfectly said.
You've shared a lot. I mean, I don't know, but you are really amazing. You've shared a lot of amazing, insightful information with us and to my viewers. I know you're watching this, and I'd love you to like this video and share so that other people can also benefit from this knowledge because you need it and your friends need it as well. So, Marta, I'd love you to share um, what programs do you really have? Do you have a course, coaching sessions, and for people who want to unlock their dream job and their dream career? How is it like?
Right. Yeah, I have a new program which is like I launched it about before summer, late spring kind of situation. And it's a 3-month program that first was a case study. So the results are just wonderful.
Wow.
Two of my clients landed in new jobs just after first and a half month working together. So in
Whoa.
literally half of the program. And this is 3-month program. It is important to put the right commitment and the hard work into in there, because of course there's my guidance, all of the one-to-one approach, but at the same time it's necessarily to, yeah, to make sure that someone wants to change their life, they want to change their career. And then with
Mm-hmm.
all of my support and insights about career, the same time about recruitment, it will definitely be possible. So yeah, 3-month program, last spots this year available. So yeah, definitely would like to welcome new joiners.
Of course, please. And the last question I would like to ask you, like, how do you really help your clients to overcome the self-doubt? Because I know there are some people that will come to you and they're like, I'm not sure this is gonna work out, and I'm not sure this and that. Like, how do you help them? Do you just maybe let them be since they are not sure, or you just invite them, welcome them, and maybe try to know what the problem is?
Yeah, we definitely fix it during the sessions, 100%, because in my approach, I come from first we have to clarify goals. This is extremely important for career development. I help my clients a lot with that. I had a client who came to me and she started with the approach of like, okay, what I think it's possible for my career is this and that. And then I pushed back and I was like, okay, but what do you think you want rather than is possible? Because
Mm-hmm.
possible is shortcut. It's like we just want the easy solution because we don't believe in ourselves. We want to believe in ourselves. We want to have career that we're really excited and fulfilled by. And it really is possible. Just building confidence takes some time, some effort. There are certain techniques to do it. So it's definitely possible. We have to always remember that like confidence is a skill and self-belief can be learned as well and practiced and established. So there is nothing impossible with building that.
Exactly. Thank you so much. I've learned a lot from you as well today, and thank you for coming.
Thank you so
And
much.
to my viewers, I really appreciate you watching to this time. And I'd love you to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more insight. Because definitely, I'm gonna bring Marta again sometime because we have a lot to catch up. So we
Yes,
can
for
talk about
sure.
a lot of things. And for her social media handles and her website and everything, I'm going to link them in the description. So check the description for every detail. If you want to ask her a question, definitely you should enroll because in terms of career, she knows a lot about. I mean, she is the expert in this area. So connect with her and ask her any question. I'm very sure she would respond and she would give the best advice, enroll in her programs, and connect with her. So, Marta, officially, thank you so much
Thank you
for
so much,
coming
Precious. Thank you. It was so great. Thank you for having me.
and greet her family for me as well.
Thank you very much, my dear. Really appreciate it. Same for yours.
Thank you. And have a wonderful day. I hope to see you next time in the next episode. Bye.
Of course, with pleasure. Thank you so much. Bye.